Hello and welcome to I'mStudying.com. I'm Nikita and today I'm talking to the founder of Interviewstreet.com, Mr. Vivek Ravishankar. So welcome to I'm Studying, Vivek.
Hey Nikita, thank you. How are you doing?
Great. So before we go further, I'm sure most of the people must have already heard about Interviewstreet.com and your startup, but for those who are curious to know more about it, could you just give us a brief about it?
Yeah, so Interview Street helps companies screen candidates. So the idea is you get a lot of applications when you put up your job on different job sites or on your careers page. And it's very hard to distinguish who's the right guy based on his resume because all the resumes look alike. So we have built a tool where companies can actually create their own programming tests, send out these challenges to candidates, and our code checker would tell you that amongst these 10 guys, these two are the guys who've written the most optimal code so that you pick them up for further rounds of interviews and you don't waste time interviewing the wrong people.
Okay. So how did you get started with all this? Could you talk a bit about your background and how you started with interviewstreet.com?
Yeah, so I used to work at Amazon in the Kindle team. So I worked there for about a year and maybe a couple of months. And my co-founder Hari, so both of us were, went to the same school, NIT Trichy.
Okay.
So he worked at IBM. So we started Interview Street as a platform for mock interviews. So the idea was, let's say you have an interview call with Microsoft next week. I'm just giving an example.
Okay.
So you could come to Interview Street and take a mock interview with a guy who is either an ex-Microsoft or is currently working there or who understands algorithms and data structures so that you know what you could expect out of the interview, out of the real interview. Mm-hmm. So the business model was the interviewee, the candidate who takes the interview would pay us X and we would pay Y for the interviewer who spends his time, and X minus Y would go to our pocket. We obviously knew it was not a scalable model, but it was just maybe an excuse to start off a startup, and we did. It didn't go anywhere. We did for about 14 months, it didn't go anywhere. We didn't earn much at all. Okay. Over the course, we tried to work with a lot of companies. We tried to set up some partnerships with companies for mock interviews. I know it was a very lame thing to actually ask the companies to actually give mock interviews for us. It was not even a good value proposition for them. But the good thing is when we were talking to companies, we understood that they had a bigger problem, which was hiring, or probably the top problem in them. So we thought there should be a better tool to fix it. And so we just started this off. We built this tool in probably less than 2 weeks, and we started to demo to a bunch of companies.
Okay, so now this makes me curious, and I want to ask that, did you always wanted to be an entrepreneur? Like you said, you wanted to start off and, just experiment with a couple of ideas. So did you always wanted to be an entrepreneur? Because you could have, continued your corporate career.
Yeah, I don't know, like I wanted to build something. So, or even Hari wanted to build something, but this whole thing of what is a startup, what is an entrepreneur, what startup ecosystem is, we're all infused to us by Morpheus. Great set of advisors. We just wanted to build something, but what exactly the startup world is all about was totally given by them. So, I don't like to claim, or that's not even true. Like I started a lemonade shop when I was 5 years old and 10 years old. No, I never really wanted to become an entrepreneur. We just wanted to build stuff. So that's all.
And how did you choose Hari, to start with? Because he was your friend, or because, you had similar interests? And how did you choose Hari as your co-founder?
So we worked together in a number of web applications and applications back in college. He was the only other idiot apart from me. We used to work together in a lot of things, and even when I was working when we were working after college also, we used to work on a couple of projects on weekends and on night. Every day night we used to sync up and work on something. So it was more of a natural thing that we started off.
And how has your startup evolved since day one, I want to know, like, could you take me back to the day one when you just put on your own papers on, in Amazon, and you just thought of starting something on your own full time? So what was that whole journey like?
Yeah, it was hard. I was very insecure when I had to quit my job. It was a great job. I was working from home. I had a chauffeur-driven car that used to pick me up every day from my home. I had a good pay, everything. Yeah, I had to. It was pretty hard when I did that. But I didn't stay. I think I quit on a Friday, and the same Friday night, I think I took a train and went to Bangalore to Hari's place, so that I don't feel the feel the insecurity, because he was quitting next week.
Okay.
So we worked together. Uh, I think the first model didn't go anywhere at all. The mock interviews thing didn't go anywhere. We tried a number of things. I used to visit colleges in Bangalore, in Chennai, trying to strike partnerships with them. But on a hindsight, I don't think it's a need. I mean, like, it's the topmost priority for a student. Mock interview is a great add-on. But the topmost priority for a student, at least in majority of colleges, is to get a job. So yeah, since we weren't addressing the top problem, that is to get the job, but rather than get the best job, it didn't really pick up that well. We should have failed faster. I think by December or maybe January we should have said no, this is not working, and we should have changed. I don't know why we didn't do it. We still pursued different activities. We launched a portal for higher studies, apart from job interviews and a bunch of other things. I don't even know why we did all that. It was crazy.
So, like, what lessons have you learned, from that experience which you're carrying over to your current startup?
I think the most important thing is to fail fast. Like, build something very minimalistic and show it to a lot of users and see if they actually like it. Like, for example, in other maybe a week, or maybe less than a week, we are launching a new product at Interviewstreet, which is going to help companies get programmers. That is hitting at the sourcing funnel. Right now, we help in filtering them. Like,
Okay.
like right now, the companies already have applicants and they filter. Like, the new product will give you good applicants, which is a bigger and a harder problem. So we built like a small version prototype, and presented it to users. A lot of them liked it. We've signed up 20 companies, and we're going to launch with those 20 companies in a week. So the biggest thing is I think whatever I've learned is, I think you should really fail fast. Whatever we did for like 14 months of mock interview. I mean, I still crib about it. It's a huge time that I've spent on it.
So, once you started on with Interview Street, did you have business model ready with you from day one, or that also evolved as you progressed? When did this idea come to your mind that, now we should, forget about doing this mock interviews thing and move on to doing something like, for programmers, where you can actually test programmers for hiring them?
Yeah, business model. I don't know. Like, it's funny because when I started, I had a 5-year uh, revenue plan for mock interviews, and it was shut down in like 12 months. So the thing is, the truth is, we were running out of money, and this model didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
And we were talking to a lot of companies, and we figured that the top problem was hiring, and we thought that there could be a better tool to do this. So we did a very minimalistic. We sat 1 week or 1.5 weeks full. We didn't go anywhere outside. We built this whole prototype, demoed it to a few startups like Wisdom Tap, ClearTrip, Bank Bazaar. They all liked it. They all started using it. They are still using it. And then we figured out, okay, this is probably a much better way to move on. So yeah.
And how did you get your first paying customers? What did you do? First of all, who was your first paying customer?
Our first paying customer was Bank Bazaar.
Okay.
They had a problem of phone screens. I think they are expanding. They were expanding, and they are expanding also. I think he used to take a lot of phone interviews. The problem is, you take a lot of phone interviews and you decline 8 out of the 10 candidates. Now that's going to be a pretty I mean, like that's going to be hard on the developer's time, like 8 into half an hour, 8 into 45 minutes of time that you waste. So Bank Bazaar, I knew because one of our friends was working in that company. So I asked him for an introduction to the CTO. Okay. So he gave and I demoed the product. They tried out the beta for 2 weeks. They liked it. And yeah, they gave the first check.
Cool. And, since then you have been growing, right? Flipkart is your customer, and there are other couple of ClearTrip and these guys.
Yeah.
So now, what are the metrics that you track for your business growth? Key metrics.
It's revenue. That's the only thing I think that matters. At least for a B2B startup, that's the only thing that matters. That's the main thing that I track.
Okay. Also, taking you back to the initial days of your startup, what were the most surprising feedback that you have heard till now? That you've got from your customers or from your users?
For this product, yes, for the filtering one?
Yeah.
Okay. The most surprising one should be that there have been a lot of good resumes that they have received, but who weren't able to even solve a simple problem, like as simple as reverse a linked list or find out the diameter of a tree, like as simple as that, to whom they might have actually spent time in interviewing, but they did not because they failed the coding test. So resumes aren't like a really good indicator. In fact, it works the other way. I think it's a pretty bad indicator of how good the candidate is.
So you mean to say that was the thing that surprised you the most since you starting?
I wouldn't say most. It's one of the things that surprised me, but most. I don't know. It's hard for me to pick up the most. There were a lot of surprising things. I don't know how to pick up the most one. Yeah, this was one of them.
Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead explaining whatever is there in your mind.
The other thing is there are a lot of like campus placements. Typically, you have the written tests. The companies used to spend about 6 hours or 7 hours in correcting the written tests all through the night, declaring results. This has been an ongoing process. And what's surprising is they didn't want to move online, but now but then we started off with Bank Bazaar, who used our product for their campus recruitment, and the time that they saved was pretty amazing. The 6 hours that they would have spent was reduced to less than an hour or half an hour of their time. So so those are the things that a lot many maybe. Not able to think of anything right now. I'm not prepared for this question.
Okay. Well, but then, I just want to know that how are you convincing people to pay you money now? And, you have such huge customer base right now. So how do you convince people now? You said your first paying customer, Bank Bazaar, you got connected through your friend. But now what is your strategy?
So it's not so the way I used to do a demo is if I get someone interested, I always ask him a couple of contacts. Like for example, the CTO of Bank Bazaar, the VP of Flipkart are all very well connected to a lot of people. So if they really like the product, I ask them, can you give me two references from your network? They do give, which is wonderful of them, and which is pretty strong. If someone refers you, they almost likely to say okay for a demo. So from demo to a converting into a paying customer it is a pretty long sales cycle. For bigger companies. For smaller companies, it's reasonably short. How do I convince is the companies will have a pain point. So I try to address that. Like I ask them what is the biggest problem, whether you spend a lot of time in phone interviews, or whether you bring a lot of them on site who are not able to code right there, or whether you don't even get enough applicants. So depending upon that'd be my first question, like what is your pain point, and depending on that, how our product would help you, and they get a free trial, obviously. So they use it, and yeah, there's a conversion to a paying customer there.
Okay, so I'm sorry I didn't ask you. You got founded in 2008, right? I mean, you started this in 2008 or 2009?
2009.
2009. And then how did you, get in touch with Morpheus, and how was that experience like?
So Morpheus, I'm not sure if you know Vijay Anand. So he referred us to Morpheus. We were looking for some advisors. Not per se advisors, maybe a little bit of money also. But yeah, the idea is we didn't know anything apart from programming. When we were working in Amazon, IBM, or even when we were in college, we used to just code. So we wanted to know the other half of the business, of the startup world, how the ecosystem works and things. So we applied to Morpheus, and we had about I think we had a pretty long 2-month no strings attached period where they worked with us.
Okay.
They worked with Interviewstreet. They gave a lot of feedback, a lot of connections. And then 2 months after that, Samir asked whether we like you guys, and if you want, you can join Morpheus. So we said yes. We didn't say yes immediately, obviously. We took a day and then told yes.
Okay. And what has been your marketing strategy since your beginning days, since your starting days?
So right now we are doing a lot of inbound marketing, getting a lot of leads online. But initially it used to be a lot of me personally traveling and demoing, which is not a scalable thing. But I think our initial ways of doing stuff was like that. But right now it is a little automated way of signing up people online and converting them to paying customers.
Okay. And how about your competitors? Do you have competition in this space currently?
Oh yeah, a lot of them. Codeval, Code.io, Coderloop, Codility,
Okay. Quite a few.
all code stars. Yeah.
So how do you deal with, this competition?
I don't think about them. I look at their blogs occasionally to see what they have updated.
Okay.
And I follow every one of them on Twitter. Yeah, I don't think much about them because I think we are already tied up with a lot of work, with a lot of features that are coming in, a lot of demos. But yeah, I do have a tab on what they're doing. I know who's investing in them. Yeah, I do get some inside info somewhere here and there.
Okay. So now almost coming to the end of the interview, what I want to learn from you is that, since you started out and in the past 2-3 years, whatever experiences you have had in this field, what is that one thing that, people should be aware of before, starting out? Before, if somebody wants to start out today, what are the things that they should have in their mind so that, they can make minimal mistakes and learn from them, but not make too many of them?
I think having great advisors is a big plus. Morpheus is an example of that in India. Yeah, I think that's one thing. Second thing is it would help if they launch a beta version or some kind of prototype before they quit the jobs. I think whatever I did was a little heroic act, really. I mean, I don't think I should have quit that much. Maybe I should have worked 2-3 months and maybe built out a prototype or something of that sort. When I quit, or when Hari quit, we didn't have anything. Like, we just had interviewstreet.com having some shady logo and things. It helps to build a beta version, some kind of prototype, a little bit of buzz, maybe 15 users signed up, and something like that. And good advisors are definitely needed. I call Samir like any time in the night. I ask him a lot of things. What should I do? What needs to be done and stuff. So yeah, that really helps.
Right. So on that note, thank you so much for talking to us, Vivek. It was wonderful talking to you.
Okay, thank you. Same here.
And for all the wonderful viewers out there, hope this helps. Do let us know your feedback on this talk. Stay tuned to imstarting.com for more interviews.
Okay, thanks, Nikita.
Thank you.